Hi everyone! Long time no see. Sorry for no updates, but September was pretty busy for me. At the beginning of September, I was busy, then I went on holidays, and then I got sick. And then it was the end of the September. And I want to update you a bit about that, what happened during September. But also, I started my own account, and that also didn't went too well. So I want to tell you how I started my account, what was my initial balance, what scared me a lot, and how I want to proceed with that small account. Let's jump to it. So let's start first with the very fast review of September. And already I placed the filter from the 1st till the 30th of September, and we can see that it was really good month. I had got a slight drawdown at the beginning of the month and pretty flat, and then everything went up. And I really like my day win and average win to loss. However, at the end of the month I started to tilt, which wasn't so great. But this month is very important for me because I realized that keeping trading consistent, showing up every time, especially for platinum trades, actually is beneficial. And for example, we're having the one trade of over $700 here on platinum. Then I think here was another one of $500. Then we had got one more of $800, and at the end of the month I also had got one of $500. So the small losses or pretty break-even trades, as we are seeing here, actually didn't harm me so much, because then I got those big winners and they covered all my losses and gave me even some more profit. So that was a huge achievement. Also, what I realized that the month before, in August, my losers were pretty big. And I was trading on 1 hour time frame. However, I was keeping the trades only for 2 to 4 hours. So when I was entering the trade, I couldn't trail my stop loss any higher because I was seeing maybe 2 to 4 candles on 1 hour time frame. So there was no way that I could go with a steeper line according to the Tory trade strategy, because I didn't have got any point B, any pivot point. So I decided to enter on 1 hour time frame, or maybe even jump to 15-minute with the entries, and then keep and manage the trades on 15-minute time frame. That allowed me to find those pivot points and trail my stop loss higher and higher, and even if I would have some losses, I minimize them significantly. So here we are having a break-even trade, and I want to show you actually how I'm implementing this 1 hour and 15 minutes. So as we can see, the trend was going up, we're doing the higher highs and higher lows, and then I was anticipating that we will go even higher. And on 1 hour time frame, when that trend line was crossed and the 7 a.m. candle closed on the other side, then at 8 a.m. on the London Open for UK, I decided to get in immediately. And then we can see actually then afterwards, like for a couple of hours, like actually the price was doing nothing. We're having like 4 candles going up and down. So we're already having midday, and still the price didn't go anywhere. And when we will go to the 15-minute time frame, we will see actually that the price was doing its ebb and flow. And we can see that like when I entered, the price went up, but then it went down and it closed down. Then it created that next pivot point for me, which was very important, because before I literally couldn't draw that steeper trend line. But because this pivot point was created, I was able to draw a steeper trend line, and that protected my profits. So when the price was going up and down, and higher, we can see that none of the wicks actually crossed the safety line. I actually gave in this trade way more wiggle room and allowed the price to go back literally to break even, and I closed the trade on break even. However, I could have already closed on one, let's delete this one, on one of those couple of candles with slightly more profit, and I think that could have been already like $300 trade. But I was keeping strong, I was keeping it till the break even, as I also want to have actually profits above 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So if I'm risking 300, I am not anymore satisfied with just 300. I want my profits to close above $300 to have got bigger than 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So as mentioned, in September I realized a lot, especially in those 2 weeks here between the 8th and 19th of September. However, then afterwards I ended up being away for a week, and here on the last week I got completely sick. And here on the 29th, on Monday, we can already see that I overtraded. I placed 4 trades. Fortunately, I ended up with $500 of profit, but I was already in a bad mindset. On Tuesday, I decided not to trade because I wanted to end up this month with over 2K of profit. That was very beneficial for me to end up the month, which was so successful for me, on a plus. And then the October came, and then let's place the first trade. Oh no, the first trade is red, the second trade is red. So here I placed 4 trades, minus $200, great. And then I placed 2 more trades on Thursday, and I blow up my account. The worst thing is that it was a funded account. I was already something around $500 from my first ever payout from a prop firm, and with just that week of being sick and overtrading, I blew out everything. I again lost the account, which obviously is not great. And this is the second time when I'm sick and I was overtrading, even though that I knew that I should not have traded. So this is a very huge lesson for me to not ever trade when I'm sick, like really, really sick, because that whole week I spent in bed. So never ever again. But this whole situation made me being so fed up with prop firms that I didn't want to trade them again. I was feeling like I'm just paying $30-40 for the evaluation account, and I am not taking money serious. So I was thinking like, yeah, maybe I should start my own live account. And I placed $1,500, and this was my initial balance, and decided to start trading. But with $1,500, you cannot trade too much. And as we will look now, I opened my account with Tradovate, and here we're having a very easy to understand margin for a day and the initial margin. The initial margin is if you're trading overnight as well and keeping your position. So you're a swing trader, not a day trader. You're not opening and closing the position within one day. And as we can see, the day values, the day initial margin varies depending on any instrument. And what I was trading, and I am very good at, is platinum. I mean, let's search platinum and 5. Here we have platinum. So my initial margin, and here actually I'm very surprised because it's currently $2,000. Now I will not tell you if it's right or wrong, but I am completely sure that 3 weeks ago it was 1,000 because I was able to place 2 platinum positions and I was not liquidated because I crossed the margin. So I think that might have changed, and this is very interesting that maybe we should always look at the margin because margins might change, because currently I am experiencing actually in the markets that platinum is moving way faster. And I had my first $1,000 profit trade in one trade, the proper trade. But it went just fast. Like, it wasn't that like I struggled to get this 1000. So I think like they might have increased it because of the conditions of the market. So for the platinum, it's currently 2000. It was 1000 to hold the position only within the day. And then we are having also micro gold that I decided to trade, and here we're still having $50 per one contract. So if you're opening 2 contracts, you need to have $100 of a margin in your account. Here I was just placing always 1 micro gold contract, so it's just $50 that I need to have in my account in case that the price will go down or I will start getting liquidated. So I cannot go any lower than $50 on my account. And one more thing that was very actually scary when I started my own account is that I sent from my own bank account $1,500 to Tradovate. And well, one day, second day, third day, and nothing. My money was still not there. Fortunately, there was in transactions the status pending, so I knew that the money were somewhere. They acknowledged that I was trying to send 1,500, but for those first 3 days, as we can see here, I couldn't trade anything because I didn't have got my money. I didn't have got $1,500 on my account, and it's like, where are the money? So if you're sending the money to your broker for the first time ever, it might take a bit, and don't panic. Like, it takes 3-4 days actually, even if it's saying, because it was, I think, the card payment is saying immediately to 1 day or something like this, and nope, it didn't take immediately, so it takes time. So on the first day I decided like, okay, let's trade gold, and I placed 3 trades. I already started to overtrade. I think we can see already here, yes, that I was actually opening the position, and I was so scared that like my profits are going away, like I'm on a minus. The price is getting closer to the, for example, the stop loss, that immediately when I was opening the position, I was immediately almost closing it. So here we're having 2 trades that were on break even, and then I got the small win later today. I mean, literally, I mean, like, when we will see that is even like crazy. And actually, I think like those trades actually are not the first ones. I had got a bit of a problem. I think I got my account on Wednesday, but I had got the problem with syncing into TradeZella. So the same thing was happening the day before, that I was opening and closing my positions immediately. And then on Friday I decided like, yeah, let's try to trade platinum, because as I was telling you, the margin was half time lower, so it was just $1,000 for a day trade, and I got in. And as I'm saying to you, like, markets since I think that Friday or even Thursday, when Trump announced new tariffs for China, like, is getting again crazy. So here I was literally within like 30 seconds kicked out. I was trying to do the bounce or to trend line, to touch point trend line break. However, my positions were literally immediately in minus because the market just was going too fast. It was too expensive. So unfortunately, those 2 losses made me very sad, and we can see that later, like, I was having more losses and even like 17 trades on Thursday, trying to literally rescue myself. So again, I was in a bad mindset, and that is very not good. Here I was only obviously trading only gold, because after that loss I was not able to even afford actually trading platinum, because I would be immediately liquidated. So that was not great. And I want to show you something else, that I should actually not have traded gold on my personal account, because actually I'm very bad at gold. So here we're having a perfect example that I filtered everything just to have micro gold. And we can see that at the beginning I was having ups and downs with gold. At some point I was even 1000 on plus with gold, but then everything melted down and then I was on break even, actually below, on a drawdown with gold. And gold is very tricky for me. It makes a lot of fake outs and kind of I don't understand it, especially that also like with all-time highs I always have a short bias, and obviously I should not have a bias, but I am having it. So this is a very bad thing, and here's an example why I should not trade even on my own account, especially when we're on all-time highs, gold. While if we will go and see instead of gold platinum, then this is another story. And as we can see here, I'm $3,900 on plus, so that makes a huge difference. At the beginning I got a bit ups and downs when I couldn't even hold platinum for $300, and recently, as we can see actually from that net daily profit and loss, my profits, if I'm getting them, they're getting higher and higher. So this is a huge good sign, while the losses, I'm not anymore holding the losses for such a big amounts because this is very not sustainable, but I am trying to keep them as small as possible. This is the day of being sick, and this is the day when I tried platinum actually on my own account, which was also a bad thing, but I am trying to keep them around 200, maximum 300, because this is my stop loss where I'm placing the maximum stop loss that I can place on platinum, and this is my go-to thing, and I am not changing it, because then with 3 losses and then 1 win or 2 wins, I can literally cover the losses, so that is very sustainable. So actually, how am I planning to actually go forward with my own account? I mean, currently my losses were so big that I'm very scared of losing any more money, so I'm placing very small positions, and still I tried here to place the positions on gold. That is a bit scary, because I know that when I was placing the first positions with $100 loss 2 weeks ago, I was able to hold those positions for like a good 3-4 hours because the price was not so volatile. And currently, like, my profits are hitting the target within minutes, and I would need to have a stop loss of $200 at least. So I will try to do small trades, grab those profits, and then get out of the markets as soon as possible and build up the account in this way. However, as you saw that gold is not my favorite instrument, I am just checking the M6E, so euro, in futures, and this is a potential instrument that I might start trading. I placed for now 2 paper trades. They were good, very good actually. They were both wins. However, I thought that I would get to my take profits within 2-3 hours, and actually took 2 days in one trade and whole 1 day in the other trade to actually hit my take profit. So definitely it's something that I would need to hold longer, and also I will need to check the margins for intraday trading for those ones if I would need to hold overnight. So that is the way how I want to go forward with my own account, and maybe you already saw a sneak preview of this week, and it was very much on plus. And I am also having 2 more accounts currently which I'm copy trading, the evaluation accounts, and I'm trading only platinum there, and this one I will tell you next week. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and see you next time. Bye!